Hey, if you're hanging around waiting for the rates to come back down to 2%, I got news for you. If you are 250 years old right now, you've seen 2 and 3% interest rates once in your entire life. In fact, you're old enough to remember when they didn't have mortgages at all. So back then, most people owned homes, usually owned the land and farms, until mortgages started when the U.S. banking system was stabilized by the U.S. National Bank Act, which was started in 1860. And we can't even figure out what the rates were back in 1800s because we never tracked it. And the 30-year mortgage didn't become popular until the 1940s after World War II. Back then, it was much more common to get a 5 or a 10-year loan. Between 1900 and 1930, the mortgage interest rates declined to around 4.9%. Not bad. But even if you could go back to that time and grab yourself a shiny 4.9, you have a huge down payment. The average debt for mortgage in 1920 was 43% of the average home value. And even through the 1960s, it was not uncommon for somebody to put down a huge percentage of 30% or more. When we talk about the history of interest rates, 1977, the rates were about 8.5%. In 89, they were 10.32, a little lower for FHA, and that's considerably high when you realize the 30-year fix was 6.64 in 1981. And I do remember 16s and 17s. So if you're waiting for the rates to drop to 2 and 3%, you're going to be waiting a very long time, if ever. And that whole time, properties are still rising in value year after year. Bucks County alone, they raised 2.5% last year, which is down from the 5% they usually rise. So year after year, if you're sitting on a smaller house or worse, a rental, you're losing money because you're fixated on the wrong thing. I know you've heard marry the house, date the rate. The rates go down, you can refinance, and you'll probably be sitting on a decent chunk of equity, making a refinance easier, and possibly getting rid of PMI if you didn't have 20% down to begin with, significantly lowering your payment. The only other option is to find an assumable. You'll have to come up with the difference between what the owner owes on the mortgage and what the property is worth, but you will get your 3% interest rate if the rate's assumable. Not all of them are. We do have people that are getting ready to sell and do have assumable rates. They've been in a house for a while, they're ready to move on. Scale up, scale down, empty nesters, the house is too big, my knees hurt going up and down the steps. That's going on a lot right now, more than you would realize. So if you'd like to know more about that, just reach out to me. I'm happy to help you and answer all your questions. Email, text, call, whatever works for you. I'm here to help. Thanks for watching.